On September 10th, 2017, 19-year-old Kanika Jenkins went out with her friends to party at the Crown Plaza Chicago O'Hare Hotel in Rosemont, Illinois. Sadly, this would be the last time anyone would see her, as shortly after the party, she vanished without a trace. Her disappearance, however, would not last long, as just a few days later she was discovered still in the hotel. Only something terrible had happened. But what was it? How did the 19-year-old girl just vanish and reappear? Why did it lead to massive protests? And how did her Houdini performance ultimately lead her to the grave? Born on May 27, 1998, Kanika Jenkins, who also sometimes went by the name Kick Martin, was a resident of the west side of Chicago in the U.S. state of Illinois. At just 19 years old, Kanika was an outgoing lady, full of life and an extrovert. She lived with her mom, Teresa Martin, who loved her very much. Keeping her friends close, Kanika was loved by many and had a good relationship with her mom and loved ones. However, everything changed on September 8, 2017, when Kanika and her friends went to a party at the Crown Plaza Chicago O'Hare Hotel in Rosemont, Illinois.
Don't worry, man. We finna get this motherfucker. Give me some more. We let Kanika have it. All right, let me get a little more. Before you have it. Wait, after.
Driving her mother's car, she arrived at the hotel with her friend, Monifa, and two other friends around 11 p.m. that night. There, they met up with another friend named Irene, who was already at the hotel in room 926 on the 9th floor. After meeting up, the crew started having a grand old time in the hotel. The party was very loud and rowdy, with officers later saying there were about 30 people in attendance. At around 3 a.m., Kanika and her friends decided it was time to head home, and all of them exited the hotel room. Upon getting to the hallway, Kanika's friends went back to get the car keys and Kanika's phone. Their quick side quest for the items, however, left them in shock because when they returned, Kanika was missing. Kanika's crew quickly began searching for her, and around 4 a.m. they called Kanika's mother to inform her that her daughter had lost track of her at the hotel. As they informed Teresa of her missing daughter, the friends sat in the car and also had Kanika's cell phone. Shockingly, after the call, the friends drove off, heading for their homes. It's unclear why they left the hotel in the middle of the night without her, but they claimed that when they were outside, Kanika simply wandered off and they just abandoned her. At 5 a.m., confused and worried, Kanika's mother arrived at the hotel and asked hotel staff to review the security footage and help her look for her daughter. Surprisingly, regardless of how Teresa begged, the hotel staff were completely unhelpful, claiming they required a missing person report before they could review CCTV footage. Frustrated, she was forced to call 911.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
Yes, I'm at the Crown Plaza at O'Hare Airport, and I was calling because my daughter came to a party here last night, a gathering with her friends, and now her friends, they say that they left her on the front of the hotel and she's not able to be found now. She's 19 years old. And they said that when her friends was asking them earlier today, like about 4 o'clock in the morning, because they run the video cameras, they said that they didn't have no camera. But now I came and it was a lady, she said that if she heard music and she asked me that I want to go upstairs, and we went upstairs on the 11th floor, and it was someone came to the room, and she said that she did see my daughter there with a group of girls and a couple of guys.
And they were saying that they haven't seen your daughter since she left, or?
No, I'm sorry, it's a new shift, and they said that they haven't seen her. Well, of course they wouldn't have seen her, because this is like 3 or 4 in the morning.
you think it's possible maybe she went to one of her friends' houses, or?
No, actually, because she had my car. She was driving my car. She know I don't like nobody to drive my car because my insurance will not pay for nobody, no one besides her. And when they went to get her cell phone, she was standing in the lobby, in the front lobby. And then when they came back down, she wasn't there anymore. I'm so sorry, sir, but I just want to know, is it possible that maybe they can look at the camera?
I was about to say, even if I did send an officer, it would take a little bit in order for us to get the camera footage and for us to pass it on to the detectives division.
Okay. Okay. So what would you suggest?
Well, again, the only thing I would suggest maybe is just give her a couple hours. She could have went somewhere with one of her other friends. I mean, and who knows what her friends are saying is true. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You could tell not to be saying. You could tell it don't sound right. I'm a parent. I've been young before, and it's not sounding right. It don't sound right. Period. That's why I came out here myself because it sounded like they had been drinking. Honestly.
Yeah.
And I asked them, did she drink? And they said she had only 1 cup. But okay, my daughter ain't the type that normally she can't even take liquor. We cannot take liquor. We take a sip of liquor, we drunk. Honestly. And I'm like, 1 cup is too much for her,
As time went on, Teresa grew more and more uneasy, and later that day she returned to the hotel. When she returned to the hotel, she immediately began searching for her daughter. Accompanied by family and friends, she began going door to door, asking if anyone saw her daughter. Sadly, the search led to nothing, but that was not all, as the hotel soon called police on her and her family for knocking on doors and asking for help.
The report of the missing person who apparently or allegedly was last seen in our hotel by the room 926. She was threatening that she's going to come with a warrant, that she's going to shut down the hotel.
Okay, what's your name? What's your name?
Faced with growing pressure and worries from the community, on September 9th, the hotel manager finally called the police to report a missing person. This is where things take a dark turn. That night, Kanika was found dead in a freezer in the hotel. The officers who spotted her claimed she was frozen solid when they found her and had no chance of being alive. So what exactly happened to Kanika? Well, after discovering her body, a coroner examined her and determined that Kanika Jenkins died of hypothermia and found alcohol in her body, which was not surprising, as she did go to a party. When asked, her friends swore she only had 1 cup to drink, but according to Teresa, that was far more than enough to cause trouble for her daughter.
And they said she had only 1 cup. But okay, my daughter ain't the type that normally she can't even take liquor. We cannot take liquor. We take a sip of liquor, we drunk. Honestly. And I'm like, 1 cup is too much for her,
Besides the alcohol that was found in her body, something else in her body worried the coroner, as he found topiramate, a medication for epilepsy and migraines, in her system. This medication was extremely concerning as it enhanced the effects of alcohol, leading to poor coordination and confusion. After finding her body, the police requested to see the hotel's CCTV tapes, and it was then that the secrets of the night came to light. You see, after Kanika's friends left her in the hallway to retrieve her belongings from the hotel room, Kanika began wandering the halls alone. The footage showed her stumbling and appearing disoriented, likely due to the combination of alcohol and topiramate in her system. Kanika's aimless journey took her through various parts of the hotel. She was seen stumbling through the hallways, taking an elevator down to the lower level, and walking into the hotel's kitchen. Throughout this time, Kanika appeared increasingly unsteady on her feet, often bumping into walls and appearing confused about her surroundings. Kanika entered the unused kitchen area around 3:32 a.m., drunkenly navigated through the kitchen, and eventually entered a walk-in freezer located in a secluded area not typically accessed by guests. It was there that tragedy struck, and the door to the freezer closed behind her, trapping her inside. Inside the freezer, Kanika was unable to find her way out, and due to the cold temperature and her impaired state, she was unable to take the necessary steps to exit the freezer. Tragically, she succumbed to hypothermia within the freezer and lost her life. Kanika's body was discovered by hotel staff and the police around 12:30 a.m. on September 10th, almost 24 hours after she was last seen by her friends. She was long dead and showed no sign of struggling or being forced into the freezer. She had also taken off some of her clothes due to a phenomenon called paradoxical undressing, which occurs in the later stages of hypothermia when the body's systems start to fail. Kanika's death was a tragedy, and one that could have been avoided if the hotel had stepped up to help. This thought soon became a public consensus as protests erupted, with people furious at the hotel and her friends for their perceived roles in her death. It went so badly that the Crowne Plaza Hotel offered to pay for her funeral expenses and asked for her mom to please tell people to stop as they were losing money. As the news of her death spread around, many suspected that her death was no accident. This is because 2 hours after the party was in full swing, around 1:30 a.m., Irene posted a Facebook Live video from the party. And although the live video was just of her being happy, people now look at them and speculate that they could hear things in the background. This is perhaps the craziest part of the case, as despite multiple investigations concluding her death was an accident, theories of foul play persisted, as many thought it was a cover-up, or worse, she fell prey to organ traffickers. Because of this, a private investigator was called, and they too came to the same conclusion. Following this, Teresa sued the hotel for $50 million, but sadly lost the case. But what do you think? Was Kanika's death an accident? Or was something more sinister lurking in the background?